Hello, my name is Laura Mason. I'm a little bit nervous about this. I have been meaning to do this for a long time, and I finally figured I should just probably go for it. The purpose of this video is I wanted to share the most requested lesson from my mindful meditation in motion group from Crossroads Church in Ottawa, Illinois, and then a mindful class that I do at work with some very special friends. This most requested lesson is basically a decompression for saturation. A lot of big words, but catchy. Decompression for saturation, which is basically a release of things that don't serve us through meditation and focus, and then just some simple body movements that help to release some of that that's stored up physically within us also. And a lot of times I share with people, I don't think we're so much overwhelmed. It's just that we can handle it, but that there's just so much. We don't know where to start or what to process. And there's just so much that it's more being saturated. And I've learned a way to physically release that, and we can mentally release that and emotionally release that, especially in this season right now in the spring of 2020. Sorry, I'm looking at notes. I'm a nerd. I'm just a little nervous. It's funny, if I had a room full of people, I probably wouldn't be. I just want to bring my 30 years experience of being a physical therapist with the collaborative revelations from the beautiful people that I've had an opportunity to work with. I also would like to direct you to the Down Dog app or Yoga with Adrienne, because a lot of this you can continue with them, or I may do future videos depending on how this goes. One note, the professional part of me, my licensure, asks that you get a medical release or approval from the doctor if you've never done any of these kinds of things before. And also my certifications and yoga asks some certain things that I always go over before with every one of my classes. First of all, how you do these moves is important. You always want to take heart to heaven and shoulder blades down and back. So heart to heaven kind of gets that entire movement. I'll cue you in, or I'll always say shoulder blades down and back. We tend to hunch them and pull them up and forward, and this is the position of saturation. And we want to decompress that physically and mentally and emotionally. And I want you to honor yourself on how you express these or do these motions or poses. I want to make sure that you don't try and look like me or anybody else or the pictures. You need to look like you, and how you best can do that is with a soft face. In other words, a comfortable, calm face. It doesn't get all scrunched up when there's pain or when you can't be comfortable with your discomfort or you're striving too hard. You should be able to rest into these poses and go into them slowly so you can assess and see if this is where you need to be or if you need to back out a little bit, and that's okay. Always honor yourself. So when we start with this, we always open up with a little bit of meditation to kind of focus and bring ourselves just to the mat and let everything go. Let anything in the past that you're regretting off the mat, anything in the future that you're worried about, just let it go for now. Because when you are done with this, the person that comes off this mat just being present here will be more calm and easier to cope with anything that you may pick back up later and deal with it more better. So the time you take now is really, really worth it. So I always start my meditation and motion class with a few scriptures, and then we'll go through some of the motions, and then we will have a resting pose, which is so important, just to let all that peace just come into you, that desaturation for the mental, emotional, and physical, so we can see what that really feels like. We don't realize how tight we become. And then followed by a devotional as you're resting in that pose. So we'll start with some simple scriptures that, even no matter your faith, are ones that we've come to well know and we appreciate. And the first one is, of course, from Psalm 23. David says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Even though I walk through, not stay in, but walk through the valley of the shadow of death, not death, but shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For God, you are with me. You comfort me. We all need comfort in this season. And then from Psalm 18, a great read if you're really feeling distressed and need to know that God can help you or come to your side. I really encourage you to read it. Psalm 18, verse 28. You, O Lord, keep my lamp burning. My God turns my darkness into light. So just remembering those few scriptures, now close our eyes and just slowly begin to notice your breath. Where do you feel it at? In your throat, under your collarbones, in your chest. Try not to change it. Just note where you feel it at. And as you feel the inhale, feel a stretch in the body that takes place wherever you feel it at. And as you exhale, notice how the body softens in that area. Inhaling, stretch. Exhaling, relax, soften. Also take note. Noting means not thinking about, just observing, neither good nor bad. It is what it is. And just note how many seconds in and how many seconds out it takes for you to breathe. And if your mind wanders, don't try and stop the thought. Just bring it back gently to the breath. And if the thought wants to carry you away, just let it go. Don't try and block it. And for those that can, you can let it go. You can let it go into the hands of God. And He will hold it for you until He's ready to have you deal with it with Him. Just anything that doesn't serve you, just let it all go now, just for this moment. Focusing on the breath. See if you can add 1 or 2 more seconds to your inhale and your exhale, and see what that does with the location of where you're feeling that breath. It may or may not make it go deeper into your chest. Relaxed belly. Now slowly open your eyes. Now as we begin, I'm starting in my, what I call easy sit or position of comfort. For you, I want that to be wherever you're at. So if you need to grab a chair, or for some people, it's easier to sit on a roll, which will bring your sit bones up a little bit and make this position easier. Or blocks, or a blanket, wherever you're most comfortable, that is fine. The important part is remember that you want to have a soft face, which just means relax, and I'm not talking poker face either, where you're like, it doesn't hurt, okay? Alrighty, so let's begin with the motions, starting an easy sit, wherever that is for you. Make sure your sit bones, those 2 bones you can feel when you've been sitting on the bleachers at a game too long, are well grounded, okay? And I want you to come up tall, grow out from the top of that as though a string is pulling you up, with a slight tuck in your tummy, and roll the shoulder blades down and back. This is called mountain pose. We can do it from standing, but we're doing it from our sit bones today. And you're going to inhale and grow that tall. You grow tall with the inhale. Kind of imagining a mountain and putting the crown of your head, your crown on the summit. And as you exhale, you're drawing those shoulder blades down and back and taking the arms, cascading them down the base of the mountain, back in to the ground. And then as you inhale, try and expand it. Take your crown even higher up to the summit and leaving it there. See if you can exhale and draw your arms even down a little bit more. Now I want to note you might feel some what I call zingers and pingers in your fingers, and that is normal. There's a brachial plexus here or a nerve network. You may be stretching it. When nerves get pinched or stretched, they respond with a tingle, and that's okay. We need to stretch our nerves as much as we need to stretch our muscles. So from this position of mountain, we want to start by just warming up our neck where we hold all of that being pressured and feeling saturated. And I want you to start sitting nice and tall and imagine drawing a circle with your nose. And slowly make it larger and larger. And if you want to imagine, as you go in the upper half up, we make a rainbow with our nose. And as you go down, make a smiley face. I'm dividing it up in this way into rainbows and smiley faces. As a child who grew up in the 70s, rainbows and smiley faces. And as you inhale the rainbow and exhale a smiley face, making it larger and larger. Your neck might get a little musical here, and that's okay. We add more harmonies to our life as our life becomes more seasoned. Good. Nice, big, easy circles. Inhale, exhale. And slowly make the circle slightly smaller and bring it back to center. Now we're going to go the other direction. And inhale a rainbow and exhale a smiley face. Slowly making the circles larger and larger. And when I say inhale and exhale, that's just a guideline. If perchance you're not inhaling when I say inhale or exhale, that's okay. Breathe your own pace. Do your own thing, remember. And if there's a pinchy part that kind of grabs you, back out of it and just make the circles a little bit smaller, okay? Now our neck is warmed up. Slowly bring it back to center. Now we're going to practice what we sometimes, if those in yoga are familiar, it's cat-cow on all fours, but we're going to do it in sitting, or simply we might be, or another way of looking at it is inhaling and moving up into camel. I want you to bring your heart up with your inhale and exhale and let your heart sink in. And inhale, remember, go up as you need to, and exhale when you need to. I want you to follow the wave of your breath. In other words, don't go up until you feel the need to inhale, and don't go down until you feel the need to exhale. And slowly bring your heart up, and maybe now as you come up, maybe soften your throat and take the arching out a little bit up into your neck. Just a little bit, tipping the head back, not too far. As you exhale and come down, maybe take your crown into your lap a little bit. So the arching in and the arching out of your spine as you follow your breath is led with your heart, and you can feel it in your neck. And maybe now add it into your lower spine, where as you inhale, you come forward onto your sit bones, and you can feel a full arch up the spine. And as you exhale, lead with the heart, let the crown drop and rock back on your sit bones. Just feel the back loosen up as you do that. Remember, soft face. If you get an ouch spot, slowly go through it or stop, and just keep in mid-range where it feels good. Good. And now to loosen up our front a little bit, we're going to step into Pilates a little bit. And if you feel the need to shift your sit position at any time, that's okay. We'll formally do it here in a bit, but if you need to, that's fine. Remember, soft face and what's good for you. Honor your body. So now what we're going to do is just some small Pilates things. You're going to exhale in short pumps just to strengthen your upper back. It helps to hold you up and to stretch out the front a little bit. So you're going to take your arms up and out in surrender and exhale. And try and keep your mountain. Grow up tall from the sit bones. Nice and tall. Pinch the shoulder blades back slightly. You might feel a little tingling. Don't let your shoulder blades ride up. This is what I talked about. You want to keep it down and back. You want to keep your heart to heaven as you gently pump it back. And if yours is here, that's fine. And I want you to pull it into a W. We call it a W because arms kind of look like a W. You bring your elbows into, I call your hourglass. We all have that little curve in our side, no matter our shape. And just bring it down again. Exhale. There's small little motions. And feel as you're doing your upper back, different muscles are getting engaged with this. If you sit up nice and tall with it. If it's hard, if your back starts getting sore sitting, you can grab a chair that's got back support and lean against the back of the chair. Now we're going to do little windshield wipers. You can keep your elbows as best you can in your hourglass and wipe them down a little bit. Just moving it down. Exhale. So you bring it down. Make sure your shoulder blades stay down and back. And now exhale. Keep your elbows in your hourglass and twist them out. Just some nice little, and you can probably maybe feel a stretch in your front. Pec minor stretch now we're getting. And finally, we're going to reach all the way up. And this is where it's tricky. Don't let your shoulder blades be up here. You're not a turtle. They're not earrings. You want them down and back. And you're going to bring your hands into goalposts. And exhale. And if it's too sore, you can just bring it here. Okay? Exhale and do a few of these. Make sure your shoulder blades, as your hands go up, your shoulder blades go down and back. They stay down there. Okay. And bring your arms down. And let's just do a mountain pose. Inhale, come up tall. Exhale, draw your shoulder blades down and back. And just kind of feel across your chest how it feels a little different. Your chest should feel more open and maybe a little bit stronger, more activity in your back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open up the back of our shoulders. We work the front. So now what I want you to do is we're going to do the upper half of what they call eagle pose. Now for some of you, if you're tight getting into this is where it's going to start looking different, and that's okay. You start with, you can do ninja arms. If you can only cross at your wrists, that's fine. Forearms, it depends on your body shape and your flexibility. Try if you can, soft face. Maybe you can go to your elbows from here. Maybe you can touch the back of your hands. Maybe for those that are more flexible, you can actually cross your elbows and maybe even bring your palms together. Wherever it is, that's fine. Feel the stretch in the back of your shoulders. Now we're going to move it a little bit like we did in the earlier position, cat-cow. I want you to inhale and come up tall, and exhale and drop the heart in. Follow the wave of your breath. Inhale as you come up tall, and exhale and come down. Now to add to it as we do this, when you come up, I want you to raise your elbows up on the inhale and really feel a stretch underneath your armpits there. As you exhale, push the spine through your shoulder blades and drop your head. And you're really going to feel a nice stretch between your shoulder blades. Just slowly and gently move it back and forth, following your own breath, your own pace. Soft face, only go as far as what's comfortable for you. Nice and easy. And notice where you feel the stretches. And your next inhale, come back up to center. And your next exhale, just release the bind. That's what they call it when you hold two things together. And then inhale and slowly drop your arms. And exhale and pull the shoulder blades down and back. Now we're going to do it on the other side. I want you to cross. And if you don't remember which side it is, it's whichever feels the most awkward comes second. You always do what's most comfortable first. So at wrists, forearms, elbows, back of hands, or palms. And you might even notice there's a difference from side to side, because you're right-handed or left-handed, which way is easier to do. And again, inhale and come up, and exhale and elbows go down. Inhale and elbows go up. Again, follow your own pace. And just feel a nice stretch that occurs as you go up behind your elbows, behind your armpits, and as you exhale and come down, kind of push that spine through the shoulder blades and maybe even drop the crown of your head and feel the stretch in your neck. Go at your own pace. And on your next breath, inhale, come up, exhale, release the bind. Inhale, come up tall, exhale, release the arms. Inhale, come up tall, exhale, release the shoulder blades down. Now, if you're sitting on the floor, I'm going to shake your knees out. And if you're sitting in a chair, just come to the front, put your heels, rest them out in front of you on the floor, and just shake your knees out a little bit. Keep up nice and tall. I want you to bend your knees a little bit, or those of you in chairs, I want you to bring your belly, keeping up nice and tall. You want to keep your torso, keep your heart to heaven. We're going to do what we call staff pose. We're going to do a slight stretch on your hamstrings. And I want you to just slowly start walking your heels down, keeping your belly button at your thighs so that you don't arch your back when you do this stretch. Just nice and easy breaths. And just bring your heels down just a little bit more. Just so you begin to feel stretched. This is a good place to remember to practice soft face. Inhale and exhale. Keep your shoulder blades down and back. This down and back portion really trains you, believe it or not only are you doing your hamstrings, but pulling those back when you feel pain or feel stress or doing something new. Again, this comes up. This is training you to bring it down. You're actually stretching your upper traps, strengthening your upper back, and reinforcing that good posture. Inhale and come down a little bit more if you can. Your knees might stay bent a little bit, just till you begin to feel a nice stretch. If you feel you can go down further, that's fine. Wherever you're at is good, even if you're up here. Okay. Now bring your legs back wherever you were sitting before. We can reverse that. Change your feet's position if you need to. Feet's. Got me. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and do an upper trap stretch because we get so tight here. Not only your sit bones grounded, hands too. I want you to come up tall, tip your head, let it go heavy one way, and exhale the shoulder down. Take a few breaths, note where you feel a stretch. With an inhale, let the weight of the head tip away, and the exhale, pull the shoulder blade down maybe a little bit more. Now you can feel that stretch anywhere from behind your ear, the top of your shoulder, and maybe even down in here. And again, you might be getting some zingers in your fingers. And breathe in wherever you feel the tightness. Breathe into it. Inhale and feel a stretch there, and exhale and let it soften. Keep the distance. Try and keep the distance between the ear and the tip of the shoulder. Now the neck muscles are very reactive muscles, not only to physical, but mental and emotional. They just tighten up so quick. They're very reactive. So we want to make sure we move slowly to come out. So we're count of 4, we're going to come out of this. So easily inhale and exhale, bring it back to center. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's go to the other side. Sit tall, heart to heaven, shoulder blades down and back, and tip the head the other way. Inhale, let your head drop. Exhale, pull the shoulder blade down. Keep your tall posture. Again, note where the tight area is. And remember, soft face. If you get down here and come out of it a little bit. And just feel that stretch. Breathe into it, inhaling, feeling the stretch. Exhaling, feeling the softening. And the more you relax with the stretch, actually the further you go. And you're in control because you're monitoring it with your soft face. Now remember, we're going to come back up to center. We're count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we've done a side stretch right here. We want to continue it through the rest of the body to loosen it up. So side bow. Now we're going to go to one side, whichever you want. Make sure your sit bones are grounded, hand grounded, because this hand, you're going to stretch these muscles. When you come back up, if you don't push with this hand, you're going to use the very muscles you stretch to lift you back up, and you don't want to do that. So I want you to inhale, lean over, pull your rib cage away from your hips, leave that sit bone down, or you don't get a nice stretch right in through here, the deeper back muscles. And if you want, you can bring your arm overhead. If it's too much, you can just keep the stretch here. I want you to inhale and exhale and stretch over. Again, shoulder blade down and back. As you breathe into wherever you're feeling the stretch, you can personalize it by rotating your heart to the ground or your heart to heaven. Your choice. Inhaling and exhaling and feeling that stretch. Soft face. One more breath here. Now as you come out of it, I want you to first bring your arm down along your side and then gently push up. Ooh, and feel how that side feels nice and stretched out compared to the other side. Let's give the other side the same treat. Ground this hand, make sure the sit bone stays grounded. Inhale, lift your rib cage up off of your hip. Keep that hip bone down. Keep your shoulder blades down and back as you reach overhead and stretch. Note where that tight spot is. It could be anywhere from behind your ear, behind your armpit, or even into your side or low back. You can personalize it if you want to, rotating your heart to ground or heaven. Inhaling and exhaling. Now we've stretched out our spine, front to back, doing cat-cow, and now side to side, doing bow. And now bring your hand down along your side and slowly push yourself up. Inhale, come up tall. Exhale, roll your shoulder blades down and back. And spend a moment here feeling where you feel softened or stretched already. We move the heart in and out. We've moved the body sideways at the neck and sideways whole body from the sit bones. So now we're going to do a twist. I want you to inhale and come up tall. Put one hand on the opposite knee, one hand behind you. Find some space by inhaling, coming up tall, shoulder blades down and back. Exhale and begin to rotate. And when you rotate, I want you to start down here from your sit bones. And exhale, don't wrench yourself around, rotate. Now is that kind of like alliteration, navel, nipple, nose, turn. And then inhale, see if you can find a little more space, and exhale and rotate more, starting from the lower spine, then the chest spine, which is the thoracic, and then the cervical. If you get to a point where it's feeling tight and you got to make a pinch face, soft face. Rotate out a little bit and just breathe at that soft face boundary. Feeling as you inhale the stretch in the body and soften into the exhale. And you can feel it anywhere from the front of the neck, back of the neck, anywhere in the spine. Just know where you're feeling it. And now inhale, coming up tall, and exhale, and slowly derotate back to center. And pause here for a moment and feel how you feel different for twisting on one side. Now we're going to go to the other side. Make sure your sit bones stay grounded. Hand on opposite knee, hand somewhere behind you. Shoulder blades down and back. Inhale, come up tall, find some space. And exhale and twist. Starting from the root of the spine and slowly going up. Inhale, come up tall so you can find more room to twist. Twist navel, nipple, nose. And if you can't stretch any further, just exist there. But we always come up tall with the inhale and twist on the exhale. Or breathe at your soft face boundary. Knowing where you're feeling the stretch at, relaxing into it. You want to be able to relax into it, so always honor that soft face. It's better to come out of it a little bit and rest more in the stretch and try and go further and push it. That's not what this is about. Now inhale and exhale over a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly rotating back. Finally, we're going to take our feet and we're going to let them rotate side to side like windshield wipers. And that twisting and rotation we were doing in our upper back and in our lower back. Now we're kind of taking into our hips and getting real low into the pelvis. And the more you let your hip come up on each side, the more rotation you're going to get here. And you're going to inhale, exhale to a side, inhale the knees up, and exhale the knees down. And as you do this, this is a test, check in. You want your heart high, up to heaven, shoulder blades down and back. Good job. That's how we should always sit as best you can. Even if you need back support, that's where I want you. Okay, good. Feeling nice and loose. Okay, now we're going to bring our heels into us and slowly lean forward, what we call cobbler's pose, and just open up those hips. And now from here, you can press your elbows down and draw your heart forward to get a nice stretch into your inner thigh. Or you can drop your head and just sink back and let gravity have its effect. Breathing nice and easy wherever you're at. If it's up here, that's good. This is the one place you're allowed to slump. You get a nice stretch. Nice, easy breath. And slowly walk your way back up. Now I want you to come into a position of comfortable rest. Normally in a classic yoga session, you'll lay down with your arms spread out and your feet turned out. You'll know you're relaxed. If you go to lay down on your back and your feet are up, you're not relaxed. You can't hold your feet physically up relaxed. Let them flop out. Or you can sit in the back of your chair. I'm going to remain sitting so I can continue reading. Just shut your eyes for a moment and feel how you feel different for what you've done. Wherever you feel a stretch, a lightening, or maybe where it's worked out a little bit, I want you to note that and see the change as a golden light. Start at the crown of your head and going down your temples and into the back of your head and around your deep throat and the top of your shoulders, your jaw. Can you feel any changes? Looking for that golden light to represent the change, because change is good. You've done something wonderful for yourself here today. Continuing down, look through your arms, your elbows. Do your hands feel looser? Hands feel warmer? Between the shoulder blades, the chest, the mid-back, the low back, the belly. Look for any golden light. Around the hips, the pelvis, fronts and backs of the thighs, knees, ankles, feet. Just note any changes. See that golden light. And now see where all that golden light is, and imagine getting brighter and larger until it fills up and warms your entire body. You just created your own sunshine. And the neat thing about this is that glow will continue from you from here. Not only are you doing this for yourself, but for those around you, kind of like spreading sunshine. The calmness that you got from this decompression here will show to others, and that will in turn help them. Now note your breath. Remember where you first noted it at the beginning of this. Is it different now? Is it a little deeper? Are the seconds in and the seconds out longer? They may be good, you've released. They may be even shorter and tighter if you had quite a bit of a workout, and that's okay. It may not have differed at all. It's all good. Just take note. And finally, as you're resting there, we'll do the devotional for today based on the 23rd Psalm, the Lord is my shepherd, as we walk through the shadow, and that God turns our darkness into light. God says to you personally, God says, I will always lead you forward. When you are going through hard times, you tend to look back longingly at seasons when your life seems easier and less complicated. Your daydream about those simpler times. You are looking at them through rose-colored lenses. Your prayers may even reflect this yearning to go back to earlier, easier circumstances. But this is not my way for you. Because of the nature of time, there is only one direction to travel, and that is forward. Your life on earth is a journey, beginning at birth and ending at the gates of heaven. I am your guide, and your responsibility is to follow me wherever I lead. God says, I am your shepherd. I always lead you along the best possible path. Even if it feels at the time like it may be painful or confusing. When your path takes you through a dark valley, a shadow, and you are struggling, look to me for help. Follow me, trusting me in the midst of darkness and confusion. It will not last. I am tenderly present with you each step of your journey. As you stay close to me, I show you the way forward. This was in a devotional written quite a while ago, but very profound for today. As you can, take your time and turn to a side or sit to the front of the chair, keeping your eyes closed. Feel the calm that you have with your eyes shut. Maintain it as you open them, slowly fluttering them open. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am very, very honored. Thank you for honoring yourself with this time, and honor yourself in your thoughts and your emotions too. God loves you and God bless. Thank you.